Yeah, another trio of male hogs here. There's a pair of 40 litters. The 40s are going to be next contestant, Viper Bachelor Parties. So their mother would have been one we bought from Kurt Morgan there, I believe 2 falls ago, as a bred for 10,500. Would have raised a $9,500 gilt there last spring, and several very high quality ones that showed last summer and this fall. So we'll stick with that pair of 40 litters. The one that Abby's trying to get there, the wider belted one, the stouter one there, that is going to be 40-6. And that one, I mean, of that litter, you're going to see several gilts in this litter as well. Of that litter, this is kind of the dense stout one. He's stout in terms of his skull. He's big in terms of his back and spread. He's got a big hip and pin in him, but everything's square and sound and goes the right direction. And still, he's a short back, kind of neat-headed one that reads like one that you can just take home, feed that one, feed him slower because he's not going to need shoved on, but one that's always going to be good in terms of his body and just his cage and his type and kind. And I think a very high ceiling type of barrel there. So he's 40-6. Kind of the black face, black spotted one's going to be 40-4, and he's kind of a different spin from his brother. He's a little more elongated. He's good in terms of his look. He's got an awesome running gear and hip and hind leg. He's square and sound, and he's greener in terms of just the amount of muscle that he has today, which is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. He's one that just when they're built like that in terms of just skeleton and athleticism, you can kind of do whatever you choose with a feed bucket, but just a square built, good looking athletic one that still reads like he's going to have plenty in terms of just base width and bone and foot. I think a very interesting barrel prospect. So the black headed one there was 40-4. The wider belt is 40-6. And then kind of the white-footed one in here, this trio, that is going to be 41-2. Just a short litter on the 41s. He's actually the only one that made it, but this one he'll be a better yet bow before me. Red Alert. The Red Alert grandma would have been the sow that won Eastern Regional in 18. That one's mom was a high dollar lease gilt there last fall, and then she would have actually raised a few barrels that got along very well in Oklahoma this fall for JD's crew and for several others down there. So a young up and coming sow, and this is one he's a little different. You could one that's just especially different from the pair he's in with. He's tall shouldered. He's big outlined. He's a big frame barrel, but if you start to actually study him at the ground, he's big in terms of his feature and his foot and his toes. He's awesome looking on the side. He has just an incredible hip and hind leg and flexibility to it. And he looks like one, man, if you want to just take this one home and pour the coals to him and feed him hard, he's got the look, design, and frame to do it. And, he's not going to be a small one. He's going to need to weigh up in those heavy weights. But I think he's one when his day comes and kind of his bulk and flesh and dimension match what he has in terms of foot and bone and forearm. Very interesting barrel prospect. So he's a 41-2. He would be a better yet bow before me. The other pair of them were the 40-6 and 40-4.